was honored to be asked by Ann and to be here to support NCLD's mission. NCLD's mission. I don't know how many of you know, when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with a mild form of dyslexia, and it was funny. Ann, who knows me very well and has known me since I was very, very little, turned to me earlier and said, "You did not have dyslexia." And I think it's a sign of probably how well I tried to hide it when I was a little kid. My brother was a voracious reader. He was 2 years older than I, and he was always reading books. And I remember I would always carry a book around with me, but I never was actually reading the book. I would pretend to read the book because I had trouble, obviously, reading and making sense of words and in particular letters. Luckily, I went to a school that caught the problem very quickly and was able to figure out the problem and diagnose it. And luckily, I had access to people who could really help. And I remember every day, every couple times a week, I used to go to a doctor named Dr. Jansky, who I called my reading doctor. I didn't really know what she was, but I remember at the time, being concerned that other people would find out about it, and I didn't want other kids in my class to find out about it because, I sort of went to this special place to, at the time, I think part of the treatment was learning how to type. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm quite a good typer now. So I thank her for that. But to me, it's a sign of just the importance the school plays in a young child's life, and in particular a child with LD. To a child with learning disabilities, as you know, school can be an incredibly isolating place. It can be a place that's incredibly frustrating and frankly overwhelming. And that's why it's so important that we're recognizing the two schools that we're recognizing today. It's also vital that kids have access to teachers that can meet their unique needs, and that too many kids with LD struggle to try to keep up with their peers and suffer from low confidence and self-esteem and lose their love of learning, and it's hard to rekindle that once it's gone. Study shows, that students with LD are retained in grade much more often than other students, and they're involved in school disciplinary action in far greater numbers at a much higher rate than their non-disabled peers. Nearly 25% of students with LD drop out of high school, and only about 60% actually earn a regular high school diploma. So not all students, as we know, with LD are getting what they need to find success in school. To students with LD facing these risks, a great school really makes all the difference. It made all the difference in my life early on. And the good news that we know is that there are great schools out there and that are able to provide the necessary resources and the support to students with LD, like the two schools that we're honoring today. The majority, however, of our nation's schools are not up to the challenge, and they cannot compare to the two schools that we're going to hear about today, which is why the work of this organization is so important.